This live stream is sponsored by PSL, Sound, Light and Stage.
Hello and welcome for a cracking day of rugby here at Sanders Park for this round 4 clash in the CMK Chartered Accountants Premier competition between Tukapa and Clifton. It's a rematch of the 2022 Premiership final between these two sides. Of course, great rivals through the years. Over to Joe Burnett alongside me from the bookshelf corner to run through the weather for today's match.
G'day Samuel. The weather is shining and the weather is sweet here. It's 17 degrees. 6 clocks coming from the east, so shouldn't be too bad for the boys out back.
A cracking day really for some running rugby as we go into these two sides' last 3 games. Tukapa in the unfamiliar position really of losing their first 3 games. A tough loss up front against Coastal and then a tight one in the wet against Old Boys over at Vogeltown Park and a last minute sort of heart stopper against Stratford Eltham last week with some green shoots sort of emerging there. Clifton with the a big win against Spotswood and a couple of tight losses against Inglewood and Southern as we head to the points table now.
So that's right. It's both teams are sort of in a similar scenario with obviously Clifton having a good win over Spotswood last week. And maybe this momentum can carry them through. We'll see. Yeah,
both really searching for wins to stay in the hunt, really, as we see there in 6th and 7th position, respectively, Clifton and Tukapa. Coastal, New Plymouth Old Boys and Inglewood leading the charge thus far. And Stratford Eltham there rounding out the top 4. So a bit of a gap there down to Clifton and Tukapa, and that's why it's imperative that both these teams will be looking to win today. As we move through the team list, Joe's run us through the Tukapa side today.
And the Chooks, Patrick Howlett and Liam Burnett and Brendan Dent continue the 3-pack. And with Josh Keish and Corbin Porteous. Corbin Porteous has been such a strong ball runner and he seems to get everywhere for a big man all over the park. It's Patrick Syme, he's in an unfamiliar position. He's usually in the hook role, but he'll flow to 6. And Chris Jollins, the Scot, he will be all over the show with Nathaniel Peters. Watch out for him off the back of the scrum. Campbell Woodmass comes back for his 2nd game, I think, and Mason Porteous ready to acclimatise after the Arabian Peninsula heat that he's been enduring. And outside him will be Henry Miles, Jack Gilmore, the young and impressive, and he's continuing to add his value. And Waiata Wharawhara, he's on the right wing, and Regan Arson continuing form with Brad Kerman. He's back with those striding legs, actually back last week, and he's been back to show some good form. And Connor McLean comes back in. Luke Davitsky, the piano man, Alex Kilichkov Perry, and Jack Vic Amoli. He's the new man in a debuting position. And Roman Fama Suli, he's new for this season. And the veteran, Lagan Kumarawa, and Bam Cam Campbell. He's in there.
Thanks, Joe. Moving on to the Clifton side for today's match. We've got a front row of Josh Tate Iwakau, Kimo Fa'agoli, and Paddy O'Carroll Harmy, who's been a strong front row in the last few seasons of the Premiership competition. In the locks, Blair Shorter will give some height alongside Siaki Vikilani, who's in his first season with Clifton. The back rows are a robust and hard-working back row of Waiweri Hettit, Mulatalo and Connor White out of New Plymouth Boys High School. Moving on to the backs, Topia Barraclough will captain the side from halfback, and it's the elusive Jonah Matai-Siwa in the number 10 role. He'll be looking to cause plenty of havoc for the Tukapa defence. In the midfield, Paul Fa'agali and Paddy Kwan, and it's a back 3 of Daniel Fa'asui, Tana Barraclough and Caleb Fowle. Moving on to the bench, in his first season with the club, Nick Spinks, alongside Aaron Derrida and Isaac Griffin as the front row replacements. Jake Ward in his first season back for the club for quite some time. He'll add some size in the loose forwards. And the back reserves, Josh Setu, Tane Cameron and Dominic Dello, also in his first season with Clifton. As we mentioned, Joe, these two teams, of course, contested the final back in 2022, so not that long, but both have gone through a period of renewal since, with Clifton only having 6 players from the 23 in the final a couple of years ago playing today, and Tukapa with 8. So obviously quite a change in personnel for the respective sides since those finals, and like I say, crunch game with both teams sort of lagging towards the bottom of the table.
Yes, it is a replenishing of the guard, really. And, well, Tukapa can speak for that themselves. They've lost some big names in the terms of Mitchell Croswell. And, look, it will be interesting as, well, I think they're both ready to play expansively. You know, the weather in the last few weeks has been pretty... subpar.
Yeah, so it's they'll be looking forward to playing some expansive rugby while the sun is out and before we head into the perhaps more gloomier months of winter ahead.
Yeah, and hopefully, balls can go into hands and then they can be passed again. That would be great. Less scrums, hopefully. We'll see. And just get a bit of flow. That's what we're looking for today. Some stop-starty stuff, but we got weather for that, folks. And
a bit of a plug for New Zealand Sparky. Thanks for providing the van for us today, where we're bringing you this coverage from. So big shout out to you guys, New Zealand Sparky. Thanks for helping us bring this coverage to you. Couple of newbies in the Tukapa lineup today, Joe. Connor McLean in his second game, reserve hooker. He'll be looking forward to getting out there and getting stuck in. And also, of course, Jack Vaimoli on debut, number 19, and providing sort of loose forward cover. And I've been impressed so far with Roman Fa'amasuli. He's been elusive in that halfback role when he's come on.
He has been sharp. Nifty player, and that's where you need a halfback who comes on and really picks up the pace in terms of the momentum.
So we'll head to a short break and we'll come back to you shortly with live action from Sanders Park. As the Clifton side make their way out onto the park, led by Topia Barraclough, their captain in the halfback jumper, and outrun Tukapa, led by co-captains Chris Jollins, the workhorse flanker, and Henry Miles, of course back this season after a season off, founder of Goodness Gracious, and on debut today, of course, in the number 19 jumper coming off the bench, Jack Vaimoli. So we look forward to him making his debut in the blue and white hoops of Tukapa today. An exciting moment for the young man.
Absolutely. No doubt a few nerves. But he'll be excited to bring some fresh energy
And the referee for today's match, Mitch Young, of course an experienced referee. Refed a number of Premier games now. And typically likes to let the game flow.
Enough to do a good job. So he'll be hot on the trot.
So we're set for kickoff here. Tukapa playing right to left on your screen as you look at it. Mason Porteous back from Bahrain and in the number 10 jumper.
He's come back with beautiful here, Mason Porteous.
Blue captain! White captain!
And we're set for kickoff. Mitch Young says, let's get into it. And Porteous goes deep early on, where it's received by the Clifton and returned with interest. He's taken on the 22 line as Barraclough feeds it nicely, and off goes O'Carroll Harmy. Nice little offload there for Matasiwa. Peter's looking to get over the ball but can't make the steal.
Take him.
Mulatalo with a few nice early breaks, and Matasiwa puts boot to ball, going deep into the Tukapa half. And off goes Koeman.
Koeman looking to south centre.
Corbin Porteous making good ground through the middle of the park. Of course, back from concussion issues this season, and a nice little offload, but the ball's bobbling. And it's knocked on there by the Clifton winger, Fa'osei Tui. Connor White doing a good job of holding the ball up there. But we'll go back to the original knock on. So some good early exchanges here, Joe.
Looking confident with ball in hand, Clifton. But just look like they've all over-scrambled the eggs there.
Stability as we spoke about, please.
So first scrum of the game. Looks like Tukapa might be giving away a little bit in the weights of the respective packs, but that's not an unfamiliar position, of course, with the likes of Liam Burnett, Luke Trevitsky in that front row. A big front row for Clifton, Tate Iwakau, Fa'ogali and O'Carroll Harmy. That's one of their strengths, a big scrum.
How low can you go, really?
Sit!
So it'll be Woodmass to feed to the scrum. As Porteous puts boot to ball, as does the Clifton fullback Barraclough. Off goes Fata. There goes Simon, the unfamiliar blindside flanker position. And there's the other Patrick, Howlett, carts it up. Koeman goes out the back nicely. And there's a bit of space there for Regan Marson, the man from Matamata. Tukapa look to resettle it back through the middle. Some good continuity and phases early on. Koeman finds Burnett.
That's fine.
Good counteract there by Shorter, the tallest man in the Clifton side.
No dog guards and straight at the top.
Barraclough finds territory inside the Tukapa 22. It's just a little fumble there from Arson. As the sides, as I'm sure he's given him a little bit of banter there, the Clifton player.
As you do. Tukapa will be looking to really get outside phase play and be able to swing it wide. We struggled to do that in the past few games, and getting over that advantage line is pretty key here. It all looks promising here. Clifton, set up.
Yeah, a good position for an attacking scrum.
Crouch!
I wonder what Mulatalo might do off the back. A big ball running number 8 for Clifton.
Sit! Okay, play that.
As the scrum holds up, off goes Caleb Fowl.
Yeah. Second man in.
Young says No, hands in on the ground from the second man.
Racket clearly formed.
Yeah, it's the rucket form.
Shot called.
No hands in the candy jar, and he's contaminated it. You can't have a contaminated ball, otherwise it doesn't work. It's kind of like when you're making ginger beer, Sam. Too much yeast extract and you pretty much get an explosion.
That's a very delicate balance, isn't it?
It is. Although I don't mind a yeasty ginger beer.
I would pick you for a bit of a yeasty ginger beer, man.
Yeasty
actually, Joe.
ginger beer, yeah.
So Matai Siwa lining up the first kick at goal to try and take the early lead for Clifton. His first season with the Clifton club. It's a bit of a wobbly old kick, but it gets the job done.
As long as you get the job done, that's all that matters. Flat, hard, and lofted over the plonkers.
So Porteous then will get us restarted. Goes deep again. Where Mulatalo comes back again with interest. He's already looking the dominant ball runner. In fact, that was Vikalani. Off goes Matasiwa and he breaks through the line. He's got his winger on the outside, but he doesn't find him, and it's a nice tackle there by Porteous.
He's an outrun his own men. They look to shift and put it in the corner. The dreaded corner.
And it just runs away into that chairman's corner, as you say, Joe. Sloped away to that corner in front of the big Tukapa deck.
I believe that's called a 50 touch.
It was a probing little kick. With a bit of luck, could have easily gone out, 5 out from the Tukapa line, and would have put them under all sorts of pressure early on. But Clifton looking to run the ball. Matai Siwa, as expected, proving troublesome for the Tukapa defence. And the number 10 jumper for Clifton. So we have our third scrum of the day.
Clifton playing with a sort of methodical rugby league mentality. One-up runners.
Crouch!
The occasional 40-20.
The occasional 40-20. Up the guts.
So Woodman.
Sit!
It's a stable Tukapa scrum, and Peters finds Woodmass, and they change direction off the back of it. Nice hands by Porteous. As Kerman looks to find some space, and he's just ankle tapped there by Quan.
Work here, Blue. Advantage, all Blue backs offside.
As Tukapa have the penalty advantage. Porteous takes it to the line. Miles, the co-captain, is hit hard there by Vikalani. Plenty of size in that Clifton second row, with the height of Shorter and the size of Vikalani already imposing themselves on this game.
How you going? Just out of the blue too, straight into it, Vikalani. And he is... If Henry's not awake now, I think he will be.
So Tukapa have opted for the scrum here.
Not pushed the bacon and eggs out of him from this morning.
So an attacking mindset on this sunny day from the Tukapa side. I suspect Peters might look to go off the back.
Crouch!
Former New Zealand under-20 player Nathaniel Peters.
Although Mason Porter is poised, ready to attack.
Play at 8!
And it's a great platform there. Pass just went behind Woodmass though. And off goes Jack Gilmore, and he beats a few tackles. Looks for the offload, and he's found his man on that right flank. Fada. And it's the early try for Tukapa.
Jack Gilmore really here just using palms, not even fins. He's just saying hello, see ya, thank you, okay, I'll do that. Around the corner. Impressive for the young fella.
Fantastic work from Jack Gilmore in his first season here with Tukapa. His third match of Premier Rugby. Beat about 3 or 4 defenders on his way to finding his outside whata there for the first try.
He's sort of jiving at a 65-degree angle, really. And can change his position while he's running as well. And he's a good defender, so very good stuff from Jack Gilmore out of Francis Douglas.
So Porteous right from the right-hand touchline. Flags stay down. So Tukapa then leading 5-3 at the 10-minute mark. Of course, crunch match between these two sides with Tukapa in the unfamiliar position of being 0-3 so far this season, and Clifton 1 win, 2 losses. So really both these sides, 6th and 7th on the table, will be looking to make their way up.
And if you've had 3 losses in a row, the pundits, the people in the crevices of the club start to make their opinions known and really got on the back of the boys. This is their time to really prove their point and show what they've got. But the frustrating point of view for Scotty Figustola and Nathan Lawrence is these mistakes that can continue to frustrate them. Similar to Clifton.
Let's form it up, guys. Yeah, Max here.
Just a forward pass there,
Just keep an eye on that early.
giving Clifton the feed to the scrum.
I mean, if you're Lawrence Corlett here and you see a knock on, he's stoked to see another scrum.
He loves his scrum, does Lawrence Corlett, the front row coach for Tukapa.
Bind!
Very specific position, isn't it? Front row coach.
Sit!
But obviously such a key core part of this game we play.
As he says, just get your head down and push.
Head down, bum up. One of the great games at primary school, isn't it? Old heads down, thumbs up.
Heads down, bum up. No,
thumbs up, yeah.
Yeah. Heads down, thumbs up.
So it'll be Barraclough then to feed the skipper for the Clifton side.
Bind!
Mulatalo may look to come off the back. He's got a pretty small room to work with on the blind side, but it looks like they'll go open. That's the big man, Fa'agali, breaking over the advantage line. As Matasiwa puts a nice little kick in behind. It's just gone a little bit too far, and Kuman knows where his dead ball line is.
Great awareness.
The scrum's just outside the 22. Yeah. So 22 or scrum?
So it's the option of a 22 or a scrum here for Tukapa. I suspect they'll go with the 22. No, in fact the scrum. Perhaps that's the influence of Mr. Corlett, the front row coach. Whenever you've got the option of the scrum, you take it.
Exactly that. Let's torment them up front.
So Tukapa will be looking to exit from their own 22 here.
Bind! Sit!
Plenty of scrums in this first 13 minutes of play. As Porteous puts boot to ball. And it's a pretty good connection. He finds ground inside the Clifton 40. Very good exit play.
Nudge, as we like to say, from Porteal. He's really just come out of a full season in Bahrain, and he's come into this with fresh and opening arms.
So Kimo Fa'agali for Clifton to throw to the line out, just inside his own 40 on the far side. And he finds the tallest man in the side, Blair Shorter, with a basketball background. He's doing a good job in that locking department. Barraclough with the box kick. Down to Fudda, who finds Cooman, the man out of Southland. And he's got plenty of speed to burn, does Cooman. Goes for the long ball out to his other outside, Arson. Pins his ears back for the corner. But he just loses it.
Brad Cooman playing a bit of duck goose in the middle.
Knock on here.
Looking to link his boys up. They look promising with ball in hand, stretching Clifton here.
I'm coming this way.
Reminds me a bit of Billy Slater, does Brad Cooman, with that running style and speed and nose for the gap.
Cooman the kid.
Of course, plenty of experience in touch growing up, New Zealand touch age grade player.
Obviously, Invercargill man. He's come to get to know foreign pastures. Last 2 seasons.
I suspect he would still roll his R's though, Joe.
Sit!
Coming from the deep south as Barraclough feeds the scrum, and it's a powerful scrum from Tukapa. And they win the penalty. Some real dominance there at scrum time from the Tukapa front row of Howlett, Burnett and Dent. Of course, both Burnett and Dent with over 100 games for the club, showing all that experience and really driving through hard.
The steamroller. And over the top, that's momentum.
So we've just missed it there, but it looks like it was a quick tap and go. And Porteous, the man in the blue headgear, appears to have come up with the try.
The man who wears blue during the week, blue on the weekends. Well, he scored the try, so 5 points on the block for Porteous, brother of Mason.
It's great to see him back in the blue and white colours this year, Joe. Adds a lot of impetus in that second row for Tukapa.
Probably one of the older heads in the side. There's Porteous.
As Porteous just pushes it wide to the right. So score remains at 10-3.
Now Clifton. And they be able to neutralise the fight.
Oh, Mitch Young puts boot to ball, and it's not a bad little left foot nudge there. There's Matai Siwa. Goes long. It's taken by that man Cooman, who of course made the break, the incisive break, that ultimately led to the second try for Tukapa.
Okay, sweet.
Came out of flow.
And off goes Mulatalo. He's a big ball runner, the number 8 for Clifton. As Burnett tries to steal it at the breakdown but can't do so. Matai Siwa, he's looking dangerous in the number 10 jersey.
He's looking very isolated here, Clifton.
Yeah, more now.
It'll be tough work getting that ball out of there. And the Tukapa defensive unit has done a good job. There's about 4 or 5 of them lying on the ground, having kept that ball up.
Like a bunch of cats on catnip.
Marks out.
And the patrol of Tukapa has done well.
So Tukapa will be looking to continue that dominance they've had at scrum time thus far.
Crouch! Bind!
They've got open
Sit.
pastures here. Let's be interesting to see. Hinata, he's opened up.
In fact, it's a pretty strong scrum there from Clifton. We'll have a reset.
Bit of a windmill. Paddy Okarohami, he's such a strong player. Even his ball carrying ability.
He's been one of the form front rowers in the competition for a few years now. One of the keys to that 2022 final run that Clifton made, where they were beaten finalists in such a tight affair a couple of years ago at Vogeltown Park. That final was between these two sides.
And I mean, you see players like himself, and let's hope they're in the minds of Taranaki selectors as well. Players who are in form. Now, back to action.
12-year-old.
Koeman in a bit of space. He's topping the tackle bust count today. Is Brad Koeman. As Syme goes out the back door and up goes Josh Keach. They go the other way with Jollins, the co-captain. And Nathaniel Peters finds the block-busting Fata right on the right wing. He puts the kick in. Mataisi was there to clean up. And he loops around the goal, his own try line, and puts boot to ball.
He's done pretty well there.
Koeman, ever present.
Keep coming
He
wide.
returns serve with a kick back in Clifton, into the Clifton 22. And Mulatalo. If Koeman's leading the tackle bus for Tukapa, he'd be leading them for Tukapa so far today, for Clifton so far today. It's a good hit there from Kichi on Fa'ogali. Clifton hooker. And a nice little offload there by Vikalani to his blindside flanker. Waiwiri hit it. As the ball bounces, Arson picks it up nicely and puts boot to ball. Finds ground. And the captain, Topia Barraclough, settles things down and finds touch.
We've had a pretty central territory here. Looking for those really deep territory kicks. Just playing in the middle of the field. It's a shine of it. Really good.
As it just goes over the back there from Burnett. Mataisiwa puts boot to ball. And he's looking for the 50-22 but can't find it. And Koeman gets good contact. It's not out though. And Mataisiwa will look to put some pressure on down that left-hand wing. Off goes Connor White, the man out of New Plymouth Boys High School. Hard-working open side flanker for the Clifton side. Up nice and early there is Brad Koeman, and he's well supported by Corbin Porteous in the tackle. Little chip in, and he finds his man, but he can't quite regather, was Barraclough. That looked probing though, Joe.
Inventive nudge, something different. Couldn't go to hand.
So he found a bit of space in behind there, did Mataisiwa. But Barraclough couldn't quite collect the chocolates.
And now Porteous centralises on the 22 and opportunity to attack.
So it'll be Liam Burnett, the New Zealand under 85 kg hooker, to throw to the line out. He goes to the middle where he finds number 8 Peters. Tukapa looking to go through the middle. As As Porteous takes it up. Patrick Howlett getting a few metres. And now Corbin Porteous. And behind Miles, looks to go wide, but it just goes over the sideline.
Knock on first.
In fact, it's a knock on, so Tukapa will retain the ball and the feed to the scrum.
Keep working on that.
Another opportunity to apply some pressure. Here is Clifton.
Crouch! Bind! You two here, okay? You need to give them the space to get in there, okay? And we can't be leaning on each other. We talked about balance.
So a good little
Hold
tussle
place.
as we hear referee Mitch Young. Good little tussle going on here at scrum time between Howlett and the number 1 jumper for Tukapa and his opposite O'Carroll Harmy.
As he finds deaf ears.
So we've got a pretty good view of it here at scrum time.
Crouch!
Certainly been a few scrums today, so they're getting familiar with themselves,
Bind.
the respective front rows.
Sit!
Clifton managing to retain their ball there, and Miles finds Cooman, the elusive Brad Cooman. He's taken in the end there by the Clifton defender, Caleb Fowl. And Woodmass spots a hole down the blind side like a thief in the night and scores Tukapa's third try.
And just like that, heads up play. No guard over the top. And he takes those 5.
Yep, excellent heads up play there by Campbell Woodmass. Porteous will be looking to add the extras. He's had some pretty challenging kicks. All 3 tries being scored fairly wide out. No mistake on that occasion. Straight over the bar.
And over the post, Porteous goes. And the story continues. Clifton really need to get back on the horse here.
Tukapa finding some fluency, but they will be conscious that last week they had a big lead at half-time against Stratford Eltham. I think it was 24-7 at one point, so they'll be making sure they keep their guard here today. I'm sure coaches Fugistula and Lawrence will no doubt be drilling that into them. It's a game of 2 halves, as Mark Ellis and Matthew Ridge would have you know.
Or even 4 quarters.
Blue, let's go. They're ready.
So Kimo Fa'agali to throw to the Clifton line out. As we approach the half-hour mark. Barraclough finds Matai Siwa. And off goes Fa'agali in the midfield. And they change direction here. It's a good dominant tackle there by Josh Keach.
He's fine. Blue's always on his feet.
Now that ball has sprung out the back with some velocity, but Cooman, as ever, looking to attack. Goes Miles. As they re-centre the attack now, Nathaniel Peters through the middle. Woodmass changes direction where he finds Arson. And it's a nice pass to Koeman, who's barreled out into touch, but the ball stays in. That's a good tackle there by Tukapa.
First one's above the sternum. Need to get it down.
But of course, the new rules around high tackles, got to keep them below the sternum.
So that rules out nipple gripples.
High tackle.
Yep, such are the new age rules, of course, bringing that tackle level lower for player safety, which of course is paramount.
Absolutely. So no chicken wings, no eye licks. Ear licks, is that a thing?
I don't know. Certainly not the old coat hanger, as they would have back in the day.
The coat hanger.
It's just lost there at the line-out time.
Tackle!
Line-out time by Clifton. As Dent goes into play halfback. The Dent-Burnett halfback first 5 combo, who would have thought? Hooker and prop showing some versatility.
Love sharing armpits with each other.
As Arson goes down the left wing, but he's well tackled there by Barraclough, who barrels him out with the help of his centre Kwan. And there's that other wing out Fa'asui.
He straggled out.
Good defensive play down the flank there by Clifton.
Both sides meeting attack. With good defence. Some injectors from the advantage line here.
So they go to the back of the line out, but it's a bit messy. And Burnett gets one line out win, perhaps the first of his career. And off goes Peters. He finds Porteous on the inside. Porteous straightening up the attack, and he goes wide where he finds Fada.
Yeah, tackle now!
The Tukapa back 3 looking dangerous when they get space. Miles, it's a flat ball, but it's deliberately knocked down by the Clifton defender. Koeman looks to take it quickly, but can't control it.
I know, mate. You want to play it quick, that risk on you.
He says the sideline's that way.
Too keen.
Oh, it's clearly plays over
Yes.
Woodmass
Maybe
trying for
cynical,
the...
but I don't know. Knocked down.
Well, Woodmass was going for the penalty try. I think that was optimistic at best. But there's no harm asking the question.
No.
Crouch!
Go to the captain's review.
Fine!
We're yet to get there in this format.
Sit!
Who knows? We might be making those calls from the caravan one day, Joe. So Clifton then from their own 22. Off goes Fa'agali. Mato Siwa puts boot to ball.
Yeah, no, wing's on.
Tukapa letting it bounce. Back there is Fada, who finds Koeman.
Coming white! Yeah.
Pretty good kick, probing. Not quite a 50-22, but not far off.
Guys, keep coming, guys. You've got to be outside the 10. Yep, all on.
So Porteous finds his co-captain, Henry Miles. Show and go, and he breaks a couple of defenders. He's still going as Miles. Porteous finds his forwards. And Woodmass changes direction. Tukapa finding some fluency in their attack now. Off goes Patrick Syme, the blindside flanker. Nice work though by Clifton at the breakdown to get the steal. The hard-working Connor White
Holding on.
out of New Plymouth Boys High School.
Okay, add the line up, please. Holding on. Mark's over here.
You can load barrows of concrete all day, but if you've got a flat tyre, then it's going to be very difficult.
I actually got a flat tyre the other night, Joe.
6 blue sub.
On your wheelbarrow.
No, my car.
On your car?
Yeah.
AA services.
No, just put the old space saver on.
Oh,
and
is that right?
got it sorted out the next day. And they all went through it.
Is that right?
Mm.
Been doing a bit of DIY work, have you?
No, it's the first flat tyre I've had, so
That was like a trellis or something like that?
I don't know where it came from. A real shock to the system on Tuesday night. Anyhow, back to the footy. Fa'agali throws to the line out, and it's challenged there by Porteous. Vikalani gets the ball, but he's held up by the looks by the Tukapa defence. So that's the second occasion Tukapa have managed to hold up Vikalani there.
I mean, you're doing pretty well to hold that man up.
Let's form it up, guys. We're not wasting time. Form it up.
He's a sizable figure.
It's been a pretty effective ball runner though today, alongside Mulatalo as number 8.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
And the ex-Wellingtonian, Woodmass.
As Porteous goes in behind and he breaks the first. And off goes Jollins, the hard-working Scotsman. And Arson breaks the first. He's taken in the end.
Your ball's available! Hold.
Woodmass trying to get the penalty, but the Clifton defender doing a very good job of rolling out the way.
Yep. Ball's available here!
Mitch Young playing hide and seek, letting Campbell Woodmass know where the ball is.
Yeah, a bit of a wedged ball there.
Tukapa look to go the same way with Liam Weasel Burnett. Off goes Howlett. Patrick, that is. Jollins has taken in a strong tackle there, but he manages to get to ground. He's done very well there. Nice little in-ball there by Porteous to find his captain, Miles.
Bit of a Gregan.
Up.
They've done well to hold him up there, have Clifton, and we'll have a goal line dropout. Some nice fluency, though, to the Tukapa attack there.
That's right.
Wing out behind the kicker.
Managing.
Get behind them, guys.
Good recycling.
He gets good contact with the ball there, does Matai Siwa. Miles just weighs up his options. Decides to go hard through the middle. Keach is taken there by Vikalani. Kerman goes with a nice long ball. He finds his captain, Jollins. And Burnett cleans up the mess and somehow finds Arson out on the left-hand wing. Off goes Patrick Howlett, which gets the biggest cheer of the day from the crowd. Kerman goes wide and he finds Keach and Miles on the inside. Tukapa's 4th try of the day.
Really good passage of play for Tukapa here. The link of the glue. Ball's just managing to go to hand. Stretching that defence, and Inade Miles. Points on the board.
Right on that ever crucial half-time break as well, just round the corner. Taking Tukapa to a lead of 22-3. Very similar, in fact, though, to the lead they held last week against Stratford Eltham at the half-time break. So I'm sure they won't be letting off in the second half. Porteous makes it 2 from 4 off the boot. And Mitch Young, in fact, says that is half-time. So we'll go through the half-time stats with Joe Bennett, courtesy of Dog Doherty. So Tukapa there, 4 tries and 2 conversions, up against Clifton's 1 penalty goal. And as you would expect with the scoreline, Tukapa have dominated that territory and possession, broadly sort of mid-60s to mid-30s. And a few missed tackles there by Clifton proving costly, with Brad Koeman in particular from the Tukapa side evading a lot of those tackles. And the penalty count pretty even. So
we'll have a look at our quick replay of some tries. No, we won't. And we will go to Oranges ourselves, and we'll see you after the break. Welcome back to Code Ball action. In the sun, Bit of an update. Spotswood leading Stratford 17-5. Old Boys 40-0 over Inglewood. A bit of a close margin of the boys around the coast. 10-19. Southern lead Clifton. Coastal.
Yeah, no, Southern leading Coastal.
That's it.
19-10. So around the grounds with Joe Bennett. A couple of interesting scores there at the halftime break. Spotswood leading 17-5 against Stratford Eltham in particular. As we start the second half here at Sanders Park in Cooman. One of the strong players from the first half finds touch inside the Clifton half.
Two. Hold the ball. Max here. Right. All done.
As we'll get a good view of whether this line out straight or not. Looking straight down the camera. It's Kemo Fa'agali. Clifton hooker to throw. And he finds shorter. Off goes Vikalani. Tukapa defence resolute through the middle of the park and forcing the error. Just lost forward there by the Clifton 5-8.
Clifton pretty isolated here. They need some outside men, even a tip on. Sort of
Let's go back to
versatile
really
play.
we had at the back half of that first half, team. Good work.
Mitch Young with a rolling art. I wonder if he comes from the
Let's warm it up, eh?
districts.
So Tukapa then with a scrum midfield on the Clifton 40.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
And it's a pretty stable platform to launch an attack off as Woodmass finds Gilmore. But he's well taken there by his opposite and bundled into touch. Nice defensive play by the Clifton outfit.
A diffuser. Not the smelly type, the other one.
It's Vikalani. Takes the line out, very much old school style.
Actually,
There's no jumper,
Oh, yeah.
but they look to centre the ball and exit with Matai Siwa. Pretty much down the centre, which is always dangerous with Brad Cooman on the lookout.
Yeah, tackle!
He's well taken though by the Clifton defence as Weasel looks to jink and jive. Miles shows and goes, and he's well taken there by Connor White. Off goes Nathaniel Peters, taken by his opposite, Mulatalo. Clifton looking to get over the ball and steal it, but can't do so. As Porteous makes the break, does Mason Porteous.
Bahrainian Bronco, Mason Porteous.
The explosive Futta breaks the first tackle. As Miles goes into play first five and he gives it the show and go.
Yeah, that's fine.
And it's a nice pilfer there by the Clifton loose forwards, but it's somehow gone in the hands of Regan Arson. So Tukapa on attack here. Nice line run by Corbin Porteous. Mitch Young just says he lost it forward there.
Clearly going forward on the ground there, guys. Knock on by White. Blue scrum here.
And the particularly detailed eyes of Mitch Young picking up a very small but very important call where he's seen the knock on. Very impressive from Mitch Young.
Let's form it up, eh? Crouch!
So Barraclough then, the Clifton captain in the number 9 jersey, will look to feed his 3rd season with the Clifton club,
Boys again,
having
really
come out
good
of
on
New
the
Plymouth
styles.
Boys High
That's the issue
School.
we've had. A little bit more patience, please. Crouch! Bind! Sit!
Nice and stable scrum there for Clifton, but it's dropped there on the first pass,
Yeah,
which will give Tukapa a nice little
Number?
platform to attack from.
Subs here. For blue.
We've got our first subs
Is he on?
of the match.
Okay. All done. Cool. Time back on. Just get me a number, eh? Scrum here. Knock on.
So Clifton making a few changes in their 4-pack.
Crouch!
Tukapa then from a nice position to attack.
Bind! Sit!
That is the plough off.
As Woodmass goes in the goes behind nicely to Futta. Miles finds Kuman, and he's too hard to stop from there. Is Brad Kuman, the Tukapa custodian. He set a few tries up today and bags one himself.
Yeah. Kerman continues his duck goose as he just finds space, glides through defence. Now Portil. I want to be picky here, but I think he's probably about 10 metres the wrong way, but we won't be too picky.
He has managed to narrow that angle a bit
He
there,
has.
hasn't he? So Tukapa scoring tries either side of the halftime oranges.
You didn't have the clock of Rugby 08 where you'd go move your player all the way in and then allow it to go all the way to your right and then it would just go straight over.
No, I didn't actually play a lot of Rugby 08. Who was the strongest in Rugby 08 in the Burnett household?
Me, obviously. I was mainly
Who was
doing,
the
I was doing the
weakest?
training missions. Those were great.
As Matai Siwa. His kick is taken there by physio Patrick Syme. Tukapa looking to attack from their own half with Henry Miles finding his midfield partner Gilmore, and Arson cuts back on the inside, making good yardage. Famasuli now on the field in the number 9 jumper, his first season with Tukapa, giving nice distribution. Porteous puts the kick in. Barraclough fields that and he finds his first 5. Matai Siwa makes a nice little run. Nice tackle there by Roman Famasuli.
Yeah.
So Clifton earned the penalty.
5 straight off your feet. Straight off feet.
Now the option for Clifton with a set piece at hand and
8 and 1 white. Sub.
a few boys hungry out wide, looking for some space
Cool. Subs are done.
and some pastures.
So a couple of changes there. Patrick Howlett and Nathaniel Peters in the number 1 and 8 jerseys for Tukapa coming off as Clifton go for the short line out. And it gets the job done.
To the knock on.
Off goes Matt Arsiwa. He breaks the first tackle when he could be away here and he goes under the sticks. Does Jonah Matai-Siwa. Caught them napping.
Gliding in second gear and woof, he can go, that boy.
Out of nowhere he made that break there, Joe.
Just went, okay, I'll start to run. It's Clifton having another bite at the cherry.
So Clifton with their first try of the day. Through their first 5, Jonah Matai-Siwa. And he adds the extras. Does the Clifton playmaker, Jonah Matai-Siwa.
And Clifton just having a big huddle as their man Matai-Siwa takes the kick. Reorganising things. And I believe Alex Perry has made his way to the field.
Some good blue tape around the head there.
That'll pull the eyebrows out for sure. Unless he's used some sort of medical tape to protect his eyebrows, I'm not sure.
So Porteous goes deep.
Look at Perry go, he's like a Clydesdale.
Oh, he's taken there is Vikalani. As Clifton look to build a few phases. It's in their own 22. The try scorer Matt Arsiwa links up with his captain, Barraclough. It just goes a bit static for a second there before O'Carroll Harmy puts his head down and goes straight forward. He only knows one way. And Matai-Siwa settles things down and finds touch. So Burnett goes to the back, he finds Porteous. Famasuli distributes nicely to his co-captain Henry Miles. Caught a bit short there though, in terms of numbers.
Can't take the 9.
But he's just taken the 9 there, has Matai-Siwa.
Just a timing thing, guys. Can't come through and take the 9.
Porteous will look to kick to the corner.
Blue 3, sub.
And if I'm playing rugby 8 here, Sammy, I'm going for a long drive.
Blue 3.
Deep line out, long drive type stuff.
Exactly. 20 metres.
13. Okay. Time's back on.
So a couple of changes for the Clifton side as well. Aaron Derrida coming on for O'Carroll Harmy. As Burnett finds Keach and they go back to the short side. Managed to keep it in, does Burnett, and he goes under a couple of them.
Lost 7! 7 release! Hold
As
here.
he gets submerged.
here.
Nice go forward ball from Jollins as he finds Miles, and Keach reaches out and puts the ball down right under the black dot. Does Josh Keach.
Just stand to deliver. Good work up front, really, from the forward pack. And Keach, he'll be pleased with that. I was going to say impeached, but that wouldn't be very fitting.
Really positive. We'll keep blue positive here.
He impeached the ball.
So we just have an update from around the grounds as well while we've got a break in play. Spotswood United leading 17-5 over Stratford Eltham. New Plymouth Old Boys leading 56-7 over Inglewood. And Southern in a tight one at the moment, 19-17 over Coastal down at the Opunaki Recreation Ground.
That'll be interesting to see how that one continues.
So Matt, I see where he hasn't found the 10 metre mark, or has he? In fact, he has. And it's regathered, so they'll take possession, will Clifton. And it actually becomes quite an effective little kickoff there by Matt Siwa. And Burnett just knocks it on there.
First one's gone this way. Second one's gone this way.
But it will be a Tukapa feed with the first knock on.
Knock on. I'll go first. That's going forward. Yeah. Mike's here. Pull it up. Right. Hey, we've been really good so far. Balance, please.
Mitch Young wants balance.
Crouch!
Here we have Roman to feed.
Bind!
He's been nippy all over the park.
Sit!
But impressed by his distribution and his running game, actually. Famasuli. Of course, first season at Tukapa for Roman Famasuli.
Yeah, under pressure.
Backs himself as a chef, I hear.
What's your go-to dish in the kitchen, Joe?
I like a wrap.
Yeah, wrap's always good, isn't it? Good solid
Yeah.
option.
Yeah.
So Burnett then. Just outside the Clifton 22. And he goes deep to Porteous. Famasuli finds the other Porteous and Miles in behind. Kuman in space. And he's just well taken there by Fa'ogali. And Clifton do a great job over the ball there to win that turnover.
Holding on. Holding on.
That was much needed for Clifton. It's a wobbly old banana kick, but it finds touch.
It's wobbly, but it'll do the job.
So Nick Spinks will throw to the line out for Clifton. Also in his first season for the club. He goes long to the back where he finds Connor White. Oh, Porteous goes for the intercept, but he's unsuccessful. Clifton do make inroads, but that's gone forward, unfortunately.
He's always in front of you. Blue 13, sub. Blue 13. Carry on with the scrum.
So we've got another sub here, Paddy
Nice,
Kwan,
guys.
coming off for Clifton
Still 20.
in the midfield. And on comes Dominic Dello.
Wonder a relation of Simon Dello.
Perhaps. Although I think Simon Dello might have been an A. This is E.
I'm glad you look at these things, Sam.
Just got a scrum reset here. One change to the Tukapa front row with Luke Dravitsky coming in on that loose head side. And on the Clifton side, Spinks in the 16 jumper in the hooking position. So a new set of front rows acquainting themselves. And Tukapa with the ascendancy on that occasion.
Down, 17 blue. Ball coming, eh? Ball heavy.
So Tukapa leading both territory and possession stats. 71% territory and 64% possession. As we head into this final quarter at Sanders Park, Burnett finds Keach, and the maul is effectively sacked there by Clifton. Goes the 100-game veteran Dent. And Alex Perry adding some aggression off the bench. Nice hands from Porteous. And he's still going as Corbin Porteous. Looking for a second try for the day is Corbin Porteous.
The ball's over the line, guys. Held up.
But can't do so. Held up by the Clifton defence.
Behind the kicker, win. Get him behind you.
So they look for the shortish kick.
Oh, fada.
Koeman manages to get that ball out of there. He had about 4 Clifton defenders on him.
Absolutely ejected that thing.
Yeah, lost blue. Back!
Jollins
Well
with the
done,
slip
one.
catch. Just goes behind Miles there, so they lose a bit of flow to Tukapa. But Koeman's a man that can bring that flow back. Oh. Let's play on. A lovely little chip and chase there by Koeman, snuffed out by the Clifton defence in the end. The kick's not out, so we'll play on. Porteous goes straight up the middle.
Yeah, thank you, high tackle. Number.
As Tukapa have the advantage for the high tackle
High
on
tackle, guys. It was
Mason
the third
Porteous.
one over the top.
Looks like Brendan Dent may be down, which doesn't look promising.
Let's go. Yeah, water off for the penalty. Off for the penalty.
So we've just got a little pause
Water.
here
If
as
you come back on, you'll get march 10, okay? Stay off.
Mitch Young says no water for a penalty.
Yeah, just go.
You've been naughty, you shall not have water.
As Tukapa push deep into the chairman's corner. Overlooked by the deck, the Nick Hughes deck.
Nick Hughes in Frisco area.
I got it.
as they look to get the rolling maul going. Slowly but surely, it's making progress.
Ball's available, work!
As Miles goes out the back, and it's a nice ball by Porteous. Sherman can't quite hang on. And Clifton look to counter-attack. As they play a bit of soccer. It's a beautiful game. And even the flankers are looking to kick now. That's a dangerous tackle, so the penalty bit will be up where the kick landed.
God, you're 20 metres away. Hey Chris, we've had 20, we've had 65 really good footy. Let's keep your guys positive, okay? Yeah.
So Mitch Young just talking
11, 7
to
and 2
skipper
white.
Chris
Stop.
Jollins as Tukapa bring on the changes. 11, 7 and 2 I think that was, Joe, for Tukapa, and it looks like Vikalani, the number 5 for Clifton, may also be coming off. So it looks like Arson, Chris Jollins and Liam Burnett coming off, potentially for his cousin, Connor McLean, in his second game for Tukapa. First here at Sanders Park.
Like for like, McLean comes on.
And he gets an early touch and an early line-out take. Perhaps the first of his career as well. Not renowned for his height as Connor McLean. What are the chances of a Burnett and a McLean having a line-out take each today?
No, I wouldn't have called it. Sam, wouldn't have called it.
Be paying good odds at the TAB, I would have thought. Speaking of good odds, obviously Tim Nacky bringing up the millie today. Of course, done a great job on the Instagram, so well done to him. I'm sure they'll be enjoying it today, no doubt.
Yeah, good on him.
So Famasuli then to feed the scrum. And it's relatively stable. Clifton putting some good pressure on though. Pushing for the 50-22, and he gets it.
Well done there. Is that Porteous? He set his boys up.
But look, number 12.
It's a big kick he's put in behind there is from Mason Porteous. So we've got a bit of a cramp issue
Radio, time's back on.
here for
Stop,
Connor
mate.
White. Hopefully it's not sort of Mark Richardson level, but who knows?
Bring on the pickle juice.
Yeah, that seems to be the new technique to solve it, the old pickle juice.
Pickle juice.
Yes.
I prefer jalapenos.
Go
Anyway,
back, go back.
jalapenos.
Yeah, come now.
As the rolling maul is making good yardage. Dent has it at the back. Famasuli shows and goes. Beats the first. It's well taken in the end. Only a couple of metres short from the Clifton line.
Blue 10 hand off the ground. Short.
As they go to the pick and go.
And he's over.
And before you know it, not sure who's ended up with the chocolates there, but looks like Henry Miles is down. Not sure who's. May well be Patrick Syme, perhaps? No. No, in fact, it's Famasuli. Roman Famasuli. With what may be his first try for the club. So Miles limps off, looking a bit injured there, which is not a good sign.
And we got 10 on the clock. With still summer's day conditions out here. Not a breath of wind. Not a bad day for some footy. Not sure how the guys are going out the coast. It looks a bit dark over there.
As Matai Siwa gets us back underway. The try scorer there, Famasili, breaks the line. Probing her away at that ruck.
Oh,
Nice little offload there by Te Whara. Good mark taken by the Clifton skipper, top here, Barraclough. And he finds touch, does Barraclough. As Tukapa win that line out. Porteous. Matai Siwa tries to take the intercept. It's not a deliberate knockdown, as he was a genuine chance of making the runaway there.
White scrum here. 10 to go. Yeah. Seven. Is it major or can we carry on? Yeah, okay, sweet. Yeah, no worries, mate. Just over 9 minutes, mate.
So it looks like Connor White, who's gone down there, being attended to. He's been busy and workmanlike all day. The number 7 jumper, one of the senior players in the Clifton side now. And one of 6 players that played in that 2022 final between these two sides at Vogeltown Park.
looks like he's injured his lungs.
What's the medicine for that one, Joe?
We're good to go. I can carry on.
Some wise words,
Okay,
maybe.
Let's go, eh? Mark's here.
Pickle
White
juice,
scrum,
maybe. I
not
don't know.
blue.
Who knows, yeah.
Geez, Roman's been impressive.
He has. The number 9.
Seems to have a lot of time, even at the breakdown.
Boy!
Strong
Straight.
running game. Good man to bring off the bench and bring some energy.
Hold!
As the scrum's gone down and Famasili distributes it to Kuman, who says we'll change direction. The kick goes in behind, searching for that 50-22, and it's not far off. But Barraclough picks it up nicely, shrugs off the first, and he finds a nice offload.
Backward! 22 now!
As Clifton somehow have retained the ball there. Looking to build some phases and exit their own territory. Vikalani. Little chip and chase.
Knock on by White.
Just a little knock on there by Tukapa.
And tried to catch it. Wasn't a charge down. Blue scrum here. You are one.
So Tukapa have had the better of both territory and position, both at about 70%. It looks like they'll be getting a much needed win in the CMK Chartered Accountants Premier Competition, and that scrum is working nicely. Clifton go with the long ball inside their own half and looking to play, retaining that enterprising attitude. It's a good tackle though by Whara as Vikalani carts it up the middle. He just can't quite find his runner there, but the ball's bouncing and Brendan Dent puts his name on it.
No.
Off goes Keach with a little pick and go around the ruck, making valuable metres.
Holding on.
But that looks like Connor White over the ball once again.
Holding on.
He's been strong at the breakdown today, and the number 7 jumper for Clifton, Connor White.
10, kick around him.
So Clifton then will be looking to finish with a full sail.
And the boys from Tikarangi will be hoping to finish off with a flourish.
So look to go wide. First 5, Matt Asiwa. To beat his opposite. Barraclough takes it into contact.
They've gone back.
Nice run there again by Connor White. Tane Cameron finds his first 5, Matt Asiwa. Clifton looking to play with ball in hand here. Well taken there by Whara. There's a nice little offload. Clifton making inroads. Just the last pass there.
Yeah, advantage over.
Dent with the show and go. And that's got quite a roar from the crowd.
Blue. Right, release. Blue's won that.
One line break for Brendan Dent. Nice tackle there by Famasuli. As both sides still looking to play late in this match. Nice little miss pass, but it finds ground. And Clifton player loops it around nicely. Off goes Barraclough, the captain. He's taken there by Patrick Syme. Pick and go from Setu. Just lost forward there by Tate Iwakau, but some a nice passage of play by the Clifton side.
Coming in with some late continuity. And some other results we've got. The Plymouth Old Boys lynching Inglewood 77-19, and Coastal 32-19 against Southern. And Spotswood versus Stratford Eltham 20-24 to Stratford.
Are we subbing him or are we carrying on here, guys? There's not long to go.
Couldn't confirm if these games are finished or not, but they'll be in the later stages.
He's not needed for the scrum. Let's carry on.
So Stratford Eltham comebacks 2 weeks in a row. Of course, last week pipping Tukapa with the final play down at Victoria Park.
3.5 to go.
And coming from behind to lead Spotswood United 24-20 at this stage. So that's around the grounds with Joe Bennett. as we head into the final minute or two of this match.
Bind!
Tukapa looking like they'll take their first win of the season.
And 9.
Nice scrum there by Clifton, but comes out the Tukapa side. Porties can't quite find his man, and it's scooped upon by Josh Setu, and he makes a break down the right hand flank. Off goes Vikalani, and he's been a strong ball carrier for the Clifton side all day. As Barracliff's gone into first 5, having started at halfback, the skipper.
Use that now.
Tate Iwakau straightens things up, does the loose head prop.
Yeah, 8, 19, don't be
Clifton will be looking for a late consolation try here. It's a big clean out there by Corbin Porteous. Barracliff finds his right winger, but he's bundled into touch. As we head into the last play.
Hey, Blue, are you in or are you out? I've got 3 here. Help. Yeah. 4. Yeah, they've delayed. We're not worrying about numbers.
So Luke Dravitsky then, the piano man.
Hold that 2. So you'll be 2 minutes back.
Taking his time, eyeing up the dart. But he finds his double. Vikalani looking to clean out and turn the ball over.
In the side, 5.
But he's gone on the side.
In the side.
So Tukapa still looking to play on, even though time has crept past that 80-minute mark.
If you delay it, I'm not worrying about it.
Yeah, the piano man. He can throw a dart.
And it just goes through Porteous' hands there. And Clifton looking to finish strong. Barraclough injects himself nicely
Yeah, it's
into
advantage over
proceedings.
now. No what?
Clifton look to attack on the Tukapa 22. Cameron feeding nicely, and they go out to that right wing, and they find Tane Cameron for Clifton's second try, but by a whisker. He's nearly gone dead there, has Tane Cameron. It was nearly one of those moments, Joe.
Nearly so. And the consolation try. Gee.
I think he might have got away with one there, but I won't say that in the scorebook. So Clifton do finish strong with a try to their reserve halfback, Tane Cameron. Which will leave the final score at 43-17, I suspect, with Barracliff. No, in fact, he hasn't added the extras. So final score here at Sanders Park, 43-15, and Tukapa register their first win of the season.
And we're pretty clear on the outright winner here. Tukapa really just outplaying Southern Clifton. Just really couldn't get it together. And they'll have work-ons as they move in, although, Tukapa, their first win of the comp so far, so they'll be pretty stoked with that, Sam.
Yeah, they will be happy with that. Yep, getting on the board. Of course, a couple of early losses, but no, definitely a much more fluent performance by them. Clifton fought hard all match, but Tukapa taking the chocolates here today at Sanders Park with a 43-15 win. That's all from us here at Sanders Park.
Kia kite.
This live stream is sponsored by PSL, Sound, Light and Stage.